on the last episode of No
that Charlie
Fugazee.
Kirk was speaking in front of a all-white audience about black issues to, in some way, shape, or form, create some form of division.
Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. Look at my debates. I invite soy boys like you and fly them out and f them in their face. Look at No Fugazee Podcast.
Like, what about when he was alive? Like, what about his message? Do you like resonate with everything he was saying, or where you at with that?
Did I agree with all of Charlie Kirk's views? No, I don't agree with any man 100%. I think any man that agrees with a man 100% is gay. So with that being said, no, there's many things that I disagree with him on, especially with his geopolitical views. But as far as the ethics of his message, I would say that I agree with the general view of his ethics.
Okay, the general?
Yeah, the general view of his ethics.
Okay, what about race?
Yeah,
like his topics, like how he talked about, like, you know, black pilots not being qualified, stuff like that.
Yeah, even when he said that he would question the qualifications of the pilot, it had context. Do you know what the context was?
Yeah, I know I know what the context he was trying to say. He was trying to go like the DEI route, which I think was wrong. Like, I think he was completely wrong. And if you thought he was right, we can debate that. That'd be a great topic to debate.
Okay. So then let me ask you a question. If a company is prioritizing, diversity and equity and inclusion instead of prioritizing meritocracy, do you think that's a good thing?
No. I want to stay on that topic specifically. I want to talk about the pilot, and then we can go into that.
This is the topic.
With the no. Specifically with the pilot thing.
No, but this is the topic, no. Man. I'm asking you a question in regards to that. If you peel back the layer to what DEI is, it's diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Hiring. For hiring, not qualification.
Yeah, for if you're hiring, are you hiring people based off of meritocracy, or are you hiring people based off of wanting to be inclusive?
No, we're no. Listen. Based off of what he was talking about, he said, I thought he was basically saying, I wanted to see, he would question if they're qualified. They're going to be qualified automatically.
No, I'm asking you the same question. How can they, and my question for you is, if you think that they're going to be qualified automatically, how is that the case if it's the case that the company is prioritizing DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, rather than meritocracy, which is quality? How can a candidate be qualified?
The candidate is qualified because they had to pass the same requirements before they even entered the job pool in the first place to even be hired. The DEI perspective is, from this pool of people, what we've noticed is, out of all of these qualified pilots, the white ones keep getting hired. So what we want to do is we want you to hire equally the ones that are actually qualified. That's like saying a bunch of races pass the bar for lawyers, but only the white ones get hired. So these guys they're both qualified. They're both passed in the bar. Hire them. Like, that's just basically what it is. It's just like, all right, we see all of these black pilots being qualified. Hire them.
Got it. So you think that
that's why
when
I
a company
with him,
let's make it make sense. I've worked many years in HR. I worked many years in staffing agencies and stuff like this. So I actually know how the process works when it comes to hiring, and when the higher ups gives you a process of hiring. There's certain goals that you need to meet when you're hiring candidates, right? So, and one, even if we're speaking about DEI real quick, we already know that the numbers in regards to DEI, it really didn't even benefit black people anyway. It benefited a lot of other races and things like that anyway. So it's not really, it's perspective of Charlie Kirk's message of what he said, which I'm going to ask you a question to see if you actually think that it's the right thinking and methodology that should be used. So even if you have a pool of candidates you would say that meets a standard of qualifications, DEI, if it's the case that you're prioritizing that to be diverse over it, you can't really do both. And I'll explain why. The reason why you can't prioritize quality, meritocracy, and DEI is because what's the population in America of white people?
You tell me.
It's about 60%.
Okay.
And then if we're looking at pilots, I don't know the number, but you can Google it, or one of the chat can Google it. Even if you're looking at the candidates of pilots of who actually are qualified candidates, do you think that it's more white people over other races?
Yeah,
it is. Right. It's higher in population, right?
It's the higher population.
It's the higher population. So let me finish. Let me finish. Look. So if it's the case that white people is the majority in the country, and they're the majority of candidates that's going to be actually qualified for DEI, you would agree to that, right?
Yeah, because they're the majority. They're
okay. Now watch.
It's gonna be more coming through. Yeah,
it's gonna be more coming through. And if it's going to be more coming through, we would have to say that most of the qualified candidates will be white.
Yes, that's what we agree on. Yeah.
So if they are the most qualified candidates, the practice that you're doing is then to skip over all of these other qualified candidates, right? Skipping over all of these, you're getting most of the resumes is qualified. Oh, well, this one is qualified too, but then is it as qualified as all of the other ones that I skipped over? You're just going to look at who's the best candidate. It just so happens to be that there's more white people, so you're going to get more white pilots anyway. That's just what's going to happen, right? That's the name of the game when you're speaking about numbers. But if you prioritize the inclusiveness, the diversity, equity, and inclusion over the meritocracy, over the quality, the scales flip. And is it really quality then? We truly don't know because the numbers don't add up. And it's also immoral. I think it's immoral.
I like how deep you went with it. That's cool.
Do you have any refutations for that though?
No. I'm going based off of Charlie Kirk's position on this, right?
Well, that would be his position.
What'd you say?
That would actually be his position. That's right. So okay. So
this is what I'll say.
Oh, go ahead. Right, real quick, over here on this side of the internet, when we look at DEI, we know that it's just it's stupid. We know that it's immoral because it's actually racism. Because if there's more, think about it. You are actually looking at race and you are trying to disqualify all of these other candidates. Like, think about it. If there's just more people that's qualified of this race, but then you don't want to choose them, you're going to choose the minority, that's actually racist, which would be immoral from my worldview and from Charlie's worldview, which is why I said that I agree with his ethics.
So you do agree with his ethics for the most part. So this
for the most part.
Yeah. So this is my thing with it, right? I'm not gonna get all into the numbers and all this stuff like that, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm for DEI and stuff like that. I brought up the pilot example, not necessarily to jump deep into like the DEI and the numbers and stuff like that and all of this. The reason why I wanted to even bring up this debate in the first place, because there might be a lot of things that he says that are accurate, but my issue or my thing with it is, why does he only point at things with the black community when the white community has its own issues as well. For example, if I made a podcast and I brought up stats, which were 100% accurate, right? We're not talking about DEI. If I brought up stats about, white people tend to be the most school shooters. White people tend to do the most. I'm not trying to get you kicked off the show, but you know what I'm trying to say. Underage kids, sexual
pedophiles,
stuff like
all
that.
that.
You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, I don't want to say all that stuff on your show. If I kept pushing those narratives to an all black audience, what would your perception of me be like? What, like if you were an outside looking in, what would you be like? You'd be like, what is this guy trying to do? Like, why does he keep bringing up these particular stats in front of an all black audience? Is he trying to demonize white people? Is he trying to start a race war? Is he trying to? That's what I'm really trying to get at. You get what I'm trying to say? Some of his stuff might be accurate. Like he might, but the fact that he says, I'm going to jump on a plane and then assume black pilot is less because of DEI. Well, the black pilot could actually be even more qualified because of everything he had to go, to even have the balls to even apply and pass all of those requirements to even get in the job pool to begin with. You get what I'm trying to say? So that's
an assertion, but the black person could be more qualified than the white person. But if you just prioritize meritocracy, if you prioritize that, then you're going to get the most qualified candidate, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm not going to make the argument. I'm not going to go into the numbers and all that stuff like that. I just want you to answer, because I wanted to see where you stood at with him. But I wanted you to answer my question. If I did that, right? Jumped in front of an all black audience, and all I did was name all of the true stats about white violence, about biker gangs, about KKK, about white supremacist groups, about neo-Nazis, about how they founded our country with violence, slavery, all of this stuff like that. And I just kept repeating these points to an all black audience. How would you view me? And would you view me differently than you view a Charlie Kirk?
This is an argument of identity. If it's a man speaking to all women, if there's a white man speaking to all black men, if there's a black man speaking to all white men, if they are saying the truth and speaking the truth can only set you free. So I know that if it's the case that it is the truth and not lies, then I know that it's coming from a place of good, because truth is good.
Oh, so you assume that Charlie Kirk was coming from a place of good. So that's where you stand.
I'm making the assumption that if it is the case that the things, I don't agree with everything in regards to him, but if it's the case that what Charlie Kirk is saying is actually true and not a lie, it doesn't matter if he's speaking in front of an all black audience. I think that it is good. And I think the motives.
You're saying if it was the truth, you say it's good regardless. Like
if it's the truth, it's good.
Him bringing up
if it's a lie, it's not good.
Yeah. So this is where me and you would disagree. I believe his motives were impure. You believe his motives were pure, because you're just saying, well,
not all.
It doesn't matter.
I don't agree with everything he said. I'm speaking about the things that I believe to be true in his message. Now, the things that we're speaking about, if we're speaking specifically about DEI and black pilots. When we're speaking about that,
I brought up that example to go a different route, and then you went into the DEI thing. But
but listen,
day,
Calvin,
this is where I'm coming at. I'm bringing it full circle. This is where I'm coming at.
Sure.
I'm honestly saying that I do not believe his motives were pure. I honestly believe, this is my opinion. You can debate me on this or whatever the case is.
Okay.
I honestly believe that Charlie Kirk was speaking in front of a all-white audience about black issues to, in some way, shape, or form, create some form of division, or some form of it's us versus them, or some form of basically to divide. Because there wasn't any I'm doing this to help them or I'm doing this for the better. No, it was just purely bringing up stats that are out of context or whatever the case is, just to bring them up, just to basically paint a picture in his audience's mind, or maybe it's something that they agree with, right? That's probably why he brought it up, because this is probably the stuff that they secretly agree with behind closed doors about a specific race or whatever. And you can insert whatever you want to insert if it's about whatever community he wants to talk about. So that's where my disagreement is. That's where my debate is. That's why I asked you where you stood, and it seems like you stand on like, oh, he just was a pure guy telling the truth. I don't believe that. I believe that.
No, I don't think anyone is totally pure and someone is always telling the truth. I don't believe that at all. Once again, what I'm saying here is very simple, right? So I'll say this first. So if he is speaking something that's true, I think it's good because I think that truth is good. It doesn't matter if you make the assertions and the assumptions that he's speaking to. Let me finish. You make these assumptions and these assertions that he's speaking to a white audience only about black people. That isn't the case. That isn't true. He speaks about many different issues. He goes against things like feminism. Feminism is the white woman's ideology.
Okay,
so he's speaking against. Listen, I know. Listen. Or if it's not even okay, if it's not only, and he's speaking about many different ethnicities, even his own people, his own race, then obviously he's being more objective than what you're saying. You're saying like he's not being objective, that he's only speaking crap about black people. He speaks crap about white people as well. What I'm saying here is maybe you didn't say only, but that's what you're insinuating.
No,
that's what you are insinuating.
First of all, I didn't say.
Do you know what insinuating?
I know exactly.
Okay,
what it means.
then you are insinuating that.
No, I'm not, because I said it doesn't matter the group, because he also talked about the trans groups and stuff like that. It's literally. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I'm trying to go back to my point, and I'm trying to figure out where you stand on it, and I feel like I gave you
my stance, but okay, go ahead.
No. I feel like you're talking in circles on me. I just told you where I stand. I feel like his motives were unpure. That's how I feel. I feel like he was disingenuous with why he brought up those facts. I'm not the believer of you.
You only brought up.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so
and I never said only. I never ever said. You make it seem like he only. I never said that. Not one time. Never said that. He talks about all kinds of groups, but he does it in a way. And this is the part where I'm gonna be honest. I don't believe he deserved to die for basically freedom of speech. I don't believe he deserved to die for that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now that part is a little too extreme, but by me watching his debates after the fact that he passed away, because I didn't watch him before the fact. I watched like one clip before he passed away, and I'm just being honest. Then I went into it after the fact, and I was watching his long form and watching stuff like this, and I'm like, hold up, man. There's a lot of like racial bias, undertones, things like that in the way he's speaking, and it seems like it's deeper than just stats. It seems like there's more to it. And then
I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
No. But you never told me where you stood on it. Do you honestly believe that he had a pure motives with what he was saying? Because you keep going to, well, it's facts.
Here's a difference.
Factual, but I can spin it in a way to create a different type of
here's the difference between me and you. You go based off of your feelings. I'm not going. Well, you are. You're going based off of how he said it. It's the way he said things. I think he's going at it in this way, and it's not genuine. It's I mean, that's what I'm getting from what you're saying, bro. Anytime you're speaking about how, Calvin, I'll let you speak. I really wasn't interrupting. When you're speaking about how things are said rather than what is said, you are going into then your interpretation of the message, which would be feelings based. Is that incorrect or correct?
No, that's very incorrect, because I never said how it was said. I went into actually what was said.
Let me. You didn't answer my question.
You never answered mine either.
I'm answering your question, right? So
I said where? No. I said more like. Do you believe
Calvin,
that his intentions were pure when he was saying the stuff that he said? That's all I asked.
I'm answering your question, Calvin, but I'm answering your question in a way where, one, I would say I've already answered it when you first asked it, but I have to answer it this way because you're not understanding me. That's all, right? So just
now you talking.
Let me put my argument out. No, I'm not talking a lot of anything.
You never answered.
If it's not the case. I said that we view the world differently.
That is watching, no, trust me.
Okay, did I not answer it? Okay, here we go, Calvin. Your question is this: do you think that the things that Charlie Kirk said was pure? That's your question.
Yeah.
Okay, I answered that. Stop it, Calvin. No. Well, that's not your question, or is it your question?
Because you take words out. I said, do you believe his motives were pure? Do you believe his motives were pure?
Okay, once again, I answered this when you first came in. You asked a similar question to it. Now you're adding the word motives in. What did I tell you? I said that there's certain things that I agree with Charlie Kirk on, and there's certain things that I don't agree with. What I do generally agree with is his ethics, his moral claims. Now, this means that, though, Calvin. Well, let me finish.
I'm not trying to cut you off.
Calvin, let me finish. Calvin, I'll let you speak. Just Calvin, but once again, you're going back to feelings, and this is the difference between me and you. This is why you really can't understand the message. I got to stop you here so I can speak, because you're going off on a tangent. So let me clear up some things. Let me clear up some things of what you said, man. And I've been letting you speak, man.
I was finna bring it full circle and end it.
I think I get the gist of it. I understand what you're saying here, but what you're not understanding about me, let me finish. Stop speaking. I gave you the grace to come up on a platform. Just stop speaking real quick, because this is what you're misunderstanding in regards to me. Coolly up here. The way you view the world is in a feminine way. You view the world on feelings. You just started speaking about your feelings again. I don't view the world that way. When you asked me the question, I said that if the things that Charlie is saying is true, then it is good. This is when I'm speaking about ethics, moral ethics, the distinction of what's good and what's bad. There's things that I agree with him on, the good and the bad. That's what I'm saying. If you're speaking about other things in regards to Charlie Kirk, let's get to the specifics. You brung up DEI. Time out. Stop it. You brung up DEI and you brung up pilots. Stop it, Calvin. Stop it. I'm speaking now. I've let you speak. Stop it. You brung up DEI and pilots. When we're speaking about DEI and pilots, you had no refutation to my argument on how I broke it down, because actually DEI would be immoral. It doesn't adhere to my ethics. And you couldn't say anything, because guess what? It probably wouldn't adhere to your ethics either, because it is racist. The practice itself is racist. Guess what? Now let me ask you the question. If you're looking at the NBA, and the NBA came up with a DEI program in regards to, you know what? We need to prioritize DEI with getting more white athletes in the NBA. More white athletes. Well, guess what? There's going to be some good white athletes. We do know this. There's going to be some good Mexicans, some good black people, but the majority of qualified candidates for the NBA is going to be black people. But if we prioritize DEI and getting white people or other races in here, then some of these black qualified candidates for the NBA that actually can be way more qualified than these white people are not going to get the position. So it's going to exclude these people by including these people, which is inherently racist. It's a racist program. You have a weak feminine mindset and you go by feelings based. I'm speaking facts. I'm breaking things down to the root, down to the methodology on how they go about these practices. I'm speaking about numbers. You tried to run away from numbers. Your mindset is that of a woman. This is why you say, well, I'm one of those people that don't like Charlie Kirk. I know why you don't like a Charlie Kirk, because you don't like how he says it, because you are a beta. You are a weak male. You are feminine, my boy. You are feminine. You're feminine right now, and your glasses are fogging up. Your glasses are fogging. They're fogging up. So listen, this is what we're going to do. Since your arguments is so weak, we're going to get down to something that's very specific again. Tell me something. Once again, I don't agree with everything Charlie Kirk said. So we'll actually probably find some agreement on things. But tell me something else that you disagree with Charlie Kirk, something specifically. Give me that now.
First of all.
No, first of all, give me something specific. You lost the pilot debate and the DEI debate. You lost it. You lost it, and you know you did.
No, I did not, because I was going to bring it.
So if you didn't lose it, no. Let me ask you the question, Calvin. Calvin, let me ask you the question. If you do not agree with it, then what about the NBA? What if the NBA did the same methodology?
Like, I can't even get my words in.
If the NBA prioritized DEI and wanted to be diverse and inclusive, would the NBA be trash to watch because it'd be all these white people? Would you trust that you'll get a good game?
Bro, you brought up Charlie's point.
Would you trust?
All you doing is bringing up his point.
I'm going into your worldview and I'm refuting it. This is called the internal critique because you go based off of feelings and not facts.
And that's where you're wrong. This is exactly where you're wrong because I have no emotions into this. I really don't care.
You came in here with emotions talking about, I don't like how he said it.
No, listen. No,
you did. Calvin, you did.
You rewind this and you actually watch this.
Calvin, you came in here with emotions, Calvin.
And you're not really actually staying on the point. You're talking in a whole lot of circles. But this is where I will go back and say this. Out of the two of us, the only one that's getting emotionally riled up is you.
No, Calvin. No one's getting emotionally riled up, Calvin. I speak to all people like this, Calvin. Calvin, I speak to all people like this. Don't, Calvin, you're not special. Calvin, you're not special. Calvin, you're not special. Watch my debates. You're not the only one that I speak to like this. When you have the mind of a woman, Calvin, when you have a mind of a woman, I speak to betas like you. I speak to men that have the mind of a woman. I speak to men like you that have the mind of a woman. Does the NBA practice DEI? Answer the question. Does the NBA practice DEI?
That's not what we're finna do.
Does the NBA practice DEI? Answer the question. No, time out. I answer all of your questions. Listen, bro, I'll kick you off my stream if you ain't answering questions. Answer the question.
I will answer the
question. I stayed and answered all your questions.
Bringing it to a different spot.
Does the NBA practice DEI currently? Yes or no?
Does the NBA practice DEI? No.
Yeah. Okay. And if the NBA did practice DEI, would you trust the players that's being drafted to the NBA and that's starting and stuff like that? Would you trust them to have the best people in position?
I never brought up DEI to begin with.
You brought up Charlie Kirk speaking about the pilot and Charlie Kirk's reason. I brought up
the pilot situation because you're not letting me
reason for it, you knucklehead. You have low IQ. I asked you, do you know the context of his statement? The context of his stop it, Calvin, stop it. You're not listening.
If you hear what I got to say at the end, it will make
Calvin,
sense.
Stop it. You don't know what you're speaking about right now, Calvin. No, you're not listening. Is it not the case? Is it not the case? The reason why
you lying a lot.
Stop it. Is it not the case when you brung up DEI? I mean, when you brung up the pilot.
You brought it up. Rewind it.
Stop it. When you brung up the pilot,
I brought up the pilot situation for something completely different.
I asked you context.
The DEI.
I asked you context.
Writing Charlie.
No, I asked you context.
You bring up everything Charlie brings up, just like the NBA section.
You're slow. You have a low. Listen, you have a low IQ, my friend. You have a low IQ.
Call it what it is.
Let me ask you the question. When we're speaking about, you don't even know how to have linear thinking. Your thinking is very tangential. When we're speaking about the pilot. The reason why Charlie Kirk said what he said is because of DEI. Is that not the context? And you even said yes to the context.
I was gonna take it to a completely different space. You
was gonna take it to a completely different space.
I didn't say nothing about DEI.
I asked you the context. He would question the qualifications of the pilot. It had context. Do you know what the context was?
Yeah, I know what the context he was trying to say. He was trying to go like the DEI route.
Everything I said perfectly. You don't know how to follow an argument because your mindset is tangential like a female. It's not linear thinking. Men, we think linear, one directional. Your mind, you think like this. It's scattered. It's tangential. Listen, so don't try to say you brung up DEI. I asked you for the context and we agreed on DEI. We agreed on that. So then when I make the argument and I bring up the NBA, you have no refutation for it. So guess what? You would actually share Charlie Kirk's ideology when it comes to DEI. Yes, you would. You share it for the NBA. Why wouldn't you share it for pilots? Answer that question. Since you are against DEI in regards to the NBA, why are you not against DEI when it comes to pilots?
I'm gonna tell you exactly why. And I'm gonna tell you why it wasn't about DEI for me. Because
that is why he said listen. He would be, curious or question if there's a black person, if there's a black pilot.
I'm trying to talk. I let you talk.
No. Listen, you trying to say something that is false. No. You're lying. This podcast is called No Fugazee. You are lying, my friend. You're lying.
Listen, listen. I let you talk. Now it's my turn to talk.
I've been letting you speak, but answer my question. No, listen. No, stop and answer my question.
Listen, though. You got to listen to me, bro. You
go ahead, answer. I'm going to go ahead.
Bro. I'm here. The reason I brought up the pilot thing is
I don't care why you brought up the pilot. Answer the question, bro.
I am answering the question about, bro. The reason I brought up
why you brought it up. Just answer the question.
Bro, you're not letting me talk, bro. God damn, I'm answering the question.
How about you answer my question first and then talk? Answer it first, then talk.
You cut me off, bro.
Answer it first, then talk.
I'm the feminine one out of us too. You the most feminine one out of us.
Because you've been obfuscating off of the topic, and I'll let you speak.
You're not letting me say my point.
I'll let you get it off. You know why I let you get it off? Because it's your first time up here. This is why I let you get it off. But since I know that you're disingenuous and you lie and you move the goalposts, this is why you actually have to answer the question specifically. So I'll repeat the question back again. Here's the question. You are not for DEI in the NBA. So why would you be for DEI in regards to pilots?
Okay.
Because you're obviously for DEI when it comes to pilots if Charlie Kirk was against it and you have a problem with it.
Cooley, one thing that you do is you make a lot of assumptions. I'm not saying this is the stuff that you're saying. What I'm saying with the pilot situation is with the pilots, for them to even be in the job pool to begin with, they have to be qualified. That's not what I'm saying.
Not if you're prioritizing DEI, they won't. We don't know that they're the most qualified. You can have a pilot license. Listen, you dumb dork. Women have a license to drive a car. A 17-year-old has
now you're lying.
An 18-year-old boy has the license to drive a car, but is an 18-year-old boy more qualified to drive a car when you're 25? Why do you think it's the case? Stop. No one's lying. Why do you think it's the case? For you to rent a car in America, you have to be 25 because they know that, well, if you're under 25, a lot of accidents and things like that, and insurance rates is just through the roof because a lot of young people get into accidents. So therefore, even if you can pass that standard test of getting your license, you are still not the most qualified person, you dork. Do you get that? There's a standard for being a pilot. This is, even if you meet the standard, it still doesn't mean you're the most qualified person. This is why when I walked you through the argument, I said that who would be the most qualified people? It will be white people just by numbers because it's freaking more white people. This doesn't mean that there's not a black person that's a better pilot than white people. This doesn't mean that. This just means that there will be more white people qualified than black people because there's not a lot of black people as pilots. That was my distinction. My comparison was meritocracy and DEI. So you have to go into what I'm saying. You don't make up stuff yourself, bro. What are you speaking about?
Bro, I literally just told you. I literally just broke it down.
Look, you have to go through the same Calvin, low IQ. You don't get this stuff, bro.
Listen, who cares? Who cares what this dude is saying? At the end of the day, you have to all be qualified to be a pilot in the first place, right? When they're looking at applications, you can't guess who's more qualified. You can't be like, oh, this application, I'm just assuming that he's more qualified because he got a white name or whatever. Bro, you never worked. Bro,
you don't know the methodology when it comes to hiring people. Bro, when you're looking at applications, there's resumes, there's stuff that you did in your work history, other jobs that you had. Let me ask you this question. A pilot, he just got his license. Let's say he had it for a year. He flew around, his work history that he worked for another airline for Spirit or whatever, and he flew around and whatever, stuff like that. But he's trying to get into United Airline. But then he's going against people that flew in the military that has 20 years or 10 years of work history as far as flying a plane. You can qualify to fly a plane. It doesn't mean that you're the most qualified to fly a plane. You dork. That was the argument. Listen, you have low IQ. You stupid. Listen, you are the reason why black people are in the poor position that they are in because you are dumb.
Hey,
you're dumb, bro. You're dumb.
Hey, you can say, listen.
You're
dumb.
Can
get all riled up. Listen. You can get all riled up.
There's no riled up. This is how I speak. Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. Look at my debates. I invite soy boys like you and fly them out and push them in their face. Look at No Fugazee Podcast. What the freak is you speaking about? I always speak like this. I come with all this energy. Especially to betas like you. You are feminine and you have low IQ.
Hey, you can say whatever you want to say. We both know it ain't true.
You're a girl. You are a girl. You are a girl, and you put up no full arguments. I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna give you one chance. One chance. Is there anything, real quick? Is there anything else that you disagree when it comes to Charlie Kirk? Anything else that you disagree when it comes to Charlie Kirk specifically? You brought up the pilot thing. Is there anything else that we can debate? Because you lost the pilot debate. Let's bring up something else.
No, but all right. So now
you did. So if you like that clip and you want to watch more, click right here. But if you want to watch the full episode, click right here.